Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I have another crochet tutorial for you today, and it is for this adorable little fried egg. And as you saw in the title, it's no sew, so it's super simple, super easy, and super fast. And I hope you love it. Let's just get straight in with materials. I have Bernat blanket yarn in white and yellow. It is a size 6 yarn, so I have a size 6mm hook. I have a needle to sew in our ends. I have stitch marker, scissors. I have safety eyes because that's what I personally use, but you can use whatever you'd like, and some stuffing. We're going to start by making the yolk in yellow, and we're going to start by doing a magic circle, and into this magic circle we are going to do 8 single crochets. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and we can go ahead and pull that shut. Now we're on to round 2, and for round 2, we're simply going to be doing an increase into every stitch around. So 2 single crochets into the same stitch all the way around to bring us up to a total of 16 stitches. So that was 1 increase. In the next one, we are going to do 1, 2 to bring us up to 4, and we're going to repeat that all the way around. And 16. Now we are ready to move on to round 3, which is going to start with a single crochet in the first stitch. And then into the next stitch, we are going to do an increase to bring us up to 3. So one more time, that was a single crochet in the first, followed by an increase. And we're going to repeat that all the way around to bring us up to a total of 24 stitches further around. And 24 for the end of round 3. Now for round 4, we're simply going to do 24 single crochet around, so 1 single crochet in every stitch. So that was 1, 2, 3, etc. Repeat it all the way around. And 24 for the end of round 4. Now we're ready for round 5, which is going to be 24 single crochet again, but this time we're only going to be going into the back loops. So if you look here, there's 2 loops. There's the top one and the bottom one. We're going to be going into this top one here. So that's going to be 1 single crochet, and we're going to repeat that all the way around. So this top loop is going to be 2, 3, 4, etc., etc., all the way around until you're back at the start. And 24. So now when you look at this round, you should have something that looks like this, where you can see the front loops that we left behind exposed all the way around. Now we're ready to move on to round 6, and for round 6 we're going to be working in both loops like normal, and we're going to be starting with 1 single crochet. Next we're going to do a decrease. So to do that, I go into the front loops of the next 2 stitches. So as you can see, the front and the back, front only, yarn over, and pull through both. A little tight right now, and you'll have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through both, and that's the invisible decrease. I'll show you one more time. So then we're going to do a single crochet, and we're going to do a decrease. So front loop, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through both. And we're going to repeat the pattern of a single crochet followed by a decrease all the way around, and it'll bring us down to a total of 16 stitches for round 6. And 16 stitches for the end of round 6. Now that we're done that, it is time to add in our eyes. I put mine between rounds 2 and 3 on opposite sides, but you can do them wherever you personally like. So you now have something that looks roughly like this, and we're going to move on to our final round. And this is round 7, and it is simply going to be 8 decreases all the way around to bring us down to a total of 8 for the round. And 8, you can go ahead and cut off your yarn. You're gonna wanna leave a bit of a tail because we will have to sew this hole shut. And you can also go ahead and stuff this now. Now that I've added my stuffing, we are ready to sew it shut. So we're simply going to take our needle and we're gonna go through the front loop. So this top loop, the only one you can see of each stitch that is left over in the round. So we should be going into 8 stitches total. So that was 1, and you're gonna be going from the inside outside. So 2, 3, and finally number 8, and then we can go ahead and pull this shut. Then I just went up and down a couple of times to make sure it's secure, and then with this tail I am just going to double knot it and push it back inside of our egg. There we go, and that is our yolk all done. So now we are going to take our white yarn and we're ready to make the egg white. To do the egg white, we're gonna simply look at the side here and you can see this round of front loops that we left behind when we worked in the back loops only. So you can just pick a random one of these and place your hook in, and there should just be the one loop on your hook. Then we're gonna take our white yarn, place it over your hook, leave a good tail so we can sew it inside later, and just pull through a loop like so. Now we are simply going to just be single crocheting around in each of these front loops that we have. So this is 1 single crochet, and I'll show you a couple more times, and we're just going to keep doing that around, and it will bring us to a total of 24 single crochet for the round. So just continue this pattern all the way around. And you'll notice here we've come to a little jump. So since the rounds, when we're working in the round, don't end and start at the same spot, there is gonna be a little jump. So once you notice here that there's no more front loops to go into, you're gonna have to simply move down to this one and just continue on like normal. And that was 24 stitches for round 1 of the egg white. Now for round 2, we are going to start with 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, followed by an increase for 3 and 4. And we're gonna repeat this pattern all the way around of 2 single crochets followed by an increase to bring us up to a total of 32 stitches for the round. And 32 for the end of round 2. Now we're ready to move on to round 3, which is going to follow a similar pattern. We're going to be doing 3 single crochet. So 1, 2, and 3, and then an increase. And we're going to repeat this pattern all the way around, and it'll bring us up to a total of 40 stitches for round 3. 3 and an increase, and repeat all the way around. And 40 for the end of round 3. If you want a perfectly circular egg, feel free to stop here. But next, what we're going to do is round 4 is going to make it that squiggly shape that you usually see when you see a fried egg. Now for this part, I don't have a specific set of rules that I follow. I just kind of do it till I like how it looks, but I'll show you how I make one of the bumps. So I'm going to start by just doing a couple single crochets. There's 5 single crochets, and then into the next stitch, I do a half double crochet. So yarn over, put it in, yarn over, pull through a loop, so you have 3, and then we're gonna go like that. And then into the next stitch, I'm gonna do 2 double crochets. So that's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets in the same stitch, so like an increase, And then in the next stitch, I will also do another 2 double crochets. Then to shrink it back down again, I do a half double crochet and then back to doing single crochets. And you can see this kind of just makes a nice round shape. Try to space them out randomly because if you do them too evenly, it'll just turn your egg into a square. So I like to do maybe 4 single crochets between this one and then maybe 8 or 9 between the next one, and just repeat that back to the start until you're happy with how it looks. And I'm now back to the start and my egg looks roughly like this. To finish it off into the very first stitch of the round, I'm just going to do a slip stitch and then you can cut off your yarn. And you're gonna wanna leave a fairly long tail and I'll show you how to hide this tail in a sec. I also forgot to mention, but if you wanna make your egg any larger than this, you can just continue that same pattern of an extra single crochet followed by the increase until you have it to your desired size, and then repeat something like this just to get those bumps at the end. Anyways, back to sewing. First, I like to start with this little short one that we left here, and I just stick my hook as close to this stitch as possible and pop out somewhere. Pull this through the needle, and then I just like to pull it through so it's sticking out somewhere on our yoke and you can't see it over here. Then with this longer tail here that we left, I'm gonna thread my needle. I'm gonna flip over to the back because that's the bad side of our work. And I like to just go through the back loops of these stitches. If you can see here, you can go into them without it showing up on the front, following my way down towards the yoke. They may be hard to find for some of them, so just feel around for it and just work your way down, and don't pull it too tight or else it'll cinch this in. But as you can see now, we have made it down to the yoke. And then as close to this where we came out as possible, we're going to insert into the yoke and we're going to come out in the same hole where we placed that other tail. Now we can take these 2 tails and simply tie them together so that they don't come undone. I like to double or triple knot them just so I can be sure that they're super secure. And then like we did originally, I'm just gonna take my scissors and push it inside the yoke to hide this tail so nobody can see it. And there we go. And this is the finished product with the smile added, and it's just so cute. I cannot, and hopefully you were able to make it and you love it. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, leave a comment if you made it, if it worked, if you're gonna make it, and subscribe because I will always have more tutorials and other videos on the way. Catch you in the next video. See ya.